Breakfast. It was a nice mixture of two different kinds of cereal, one healthy and one not so much.
And your levels look just fine, so I think that we're rocking and rolling here. This is
Perfect.
So marry these two together, it'll look fun indeed. Okay. Gosh, I mean, this is you guys. I mean, what you see in your job. I mean, you have a lot. There's a lot of sorrow. There's a lot of pain, and this is just a happy story. I mean, it's nice to have something good like this happen, and you probably see. I don't even know. How many would you say a year would you see come from the academy and come and sign up to be a deputy?
Well, this has been a really busy year. We've probably added about 14 new deputies since January, which is probably the most that we've added in quite some time.
Phenomenal indeed. And you have a particularly unique deputy this year. Tell me a little bit about our gal who's right over here.
Well, we have hired a lot of wonderful candidates this year, and they each bring a slightly different perspective. Wanda's is probably a little more different than most. She was naturalized last week or the week before and had to navigate that whole citizenship process there. And I think that's a really valuable perspective to bring to our occupation, because there are people in our community that are dealing with these types of issues, and it's phenomenal to have somebody who's been there who can provide that perspective and any help that people might need that way.
I think you hit the nail on the head. You actually went to her naturalization, what do we call it? I forgive my ignorance, I'm not even sure, naturalization ceremony, right?
I think that's what it was called.
How would you describe that?
Oh, it was truly an amazing experience. I've been to one previous one, and both of them. They're very emotional. It's just amazing to see people coming here and joining our country, and the enthusiasm and the wealth of experience and the different perspectives and expertises that they bring.
Yeah, and to become a sister in blue now, I mean that's a calling, and to have a calling and to have a calling to become a citizen. I mean I don't even know how to put that into words.
She is definitely taking on a real challenge, and I think there was a theme of that in that ceremony of being an American means contributing to our society, and she really seems to bring that spirit to our agency, and I'm thrilled to have her on board.
No doubt about it. She's finishing up these classes right now. When will she become a fully deputized?
Oh, it's a lengthy process. She will have to first navigate being hired and going through the selection process in the background, and it is a long, difficult journey. Just to be hired is a major accomplishment. And then she has the police academy here, which is about 10 weeks, difficult sort of class to make it through. You know what, I'm not sure that it's 10 weeks, so perhaps we better...
That's our, we have unlimited take, no worries here. But it's a multi-week process that right now she's going to be going to the gun range, right? And that's what she's focusing on.
Absolutely. There's many different facets of things that you have to be able to master as part of the police academy. On top of the physical skills, the being able to hit the target, you have to be able to make the correct decisions at the right time. You have constitutional law that you have to study and understand and be able to apply in a wide variety of different circumstances, and I think that can be very, very difficult. You have to be able to write well and be able to communicate the situation to the courts so that they understand exactly what happens, so the judge can make the right decision there. Once she graduates here from the academy, she's going to come back to the sheriff's office, and she's going to have a lengthy journey there as well. We'll put her with senior deputies who will show her the ropes, and that will take somewhere in the ballpark of 14, maybe 16 weeks. And during that, she'll be tested on a regular basis, and she's going to have to prove that she's able to handle this job before she's sent out on her own.
That's phenomenal. Already she has a special place in your heart, it sounds like. Were you part of the committee that identified her and realized her worth?
We were exceptionally fortunate here, where she was hired maybe a year and a half ago to work in our jail facility, and that is a wonderful training ground for prospective new deputies, because you learn how to interact with inmates, to be able to get them to do what needs to be done without always having a conflict, And that ability to develop a rapport and to communicate is really a critical part of working in a jail. And some do very well, and I think Wanja exemplifies what we're looking for as far as being compassionate, but also being firm about enforcing the rules and making sure that the facility is run in a safe and correct manner.
She really I mean, she's been lucky with her opportunities, but she's made her own luck, it sounds like.
She certainly has. She has worked hard, and I can tell just in my interaction up at that ceremony. As soon as it was over, she was ready to get back here because she didn't want to miss any class that she could make. And I love that level of being conscientious about what it is that she's doing here and just how important this training is to her future, but also to the people that she's going to serve in our community.
This was bar none probably one of the most important things for you. I mean, you drove all the way to Milwaukee. You know, you clearly felt in your heart this was a critically important thing for you to go and do.
It was a phenomenal opportunity for me to be a part of this experience with her and see how it ended there. It was a long journey to get to that ceremony, and I'm very proud of her accomplishment that way.
I probably have plenty. I'm trying to think. I'm gonna flip this question around for you. You know, she's learning a whole bunch from you guys. I'm sure she's gonna be talking all about that. But I know you mentioned this. You feel like you're learning from her, and the people of Rock County are learning from her. What are they learning, and what are you learning?
Well, I think it's very, very important for everybody at the sheriff's office and our community to be able to see things from different perspectives, to be able to have many different eyes on what a situation is, because sometimes the solution, which may not jump out to me, may be strikingly obvious for one of my people. And if they bring that forward, we can serve our community better. And I think our community, it's a lesson for them as well, to be able to see a problem from somebody else's perspective. And sometimes you take offense because of something you've seen, but maybe if you looked at it from a different angle, maybe it was never meant to be an offense in the first place.
And clearly, I mean, definitely now a true patriot, which I'm sure that you are pleased to have on your side.
Absolutely. We are thrilled to have her, and I can't wait to see what her future is going to be.
I think I have plenty, guys. Anything I forgot to ask? Sheriff, anything that you can think of? I can't wait to get you in the hot seat.
Have a party.
Having him there is perfect. We'll do it. All right, you look great on camera. Hardest question, I promise. It's the hardest one I ask.
Oh, God.
Other than asking you what you had for breakfast. Tell me, if you don't mind, I'm just moving that down. Tell me, please, if you will, your full name and full official title, if you don't mind.
All right, my name is Wanja Kinuthia. I'm a deputy sheriff at Rock County Sheriff's Department.
Excellent, excellent. And will you spell your name too for me?
It is W as in William, A as in Adam, N as in Nora, J as in John, and A as in Adam.
And pronounce your first name one more time for me.
Wanja.
Wanja, okay. Wanja, tell me a little bit about yourself. Where are you originally from?
Well, I'm originally from Kenya, came to the States 2003. I'm a newer resident of Wisconsin, moved to Wisconsin 2016, and I applied for a job with Rock County.
Well, why Rock County, of all places?
Why not Rock County? I love the community, they're friendly, and they kind of adopted me, so that's pretty much, I felt at home. And I right away got a job in the direction of where I was going, law enforcement. I started in the jail, and now just got promoted to deputy sheriff.
This is so exciting for you.
Thank you.
Talk to me a little bit about your effort here to become a deputy. I mean, this is a long road. I know it's another long road to get naturalized. We'll talk about that in a second. But
Okay.
I mean, this was not easy for you, right? I mean, you come over to the U.S., foreign country, and that's got to be a wild experience trying to get a job in the first place.
Absolutely. I don't give up, and I do not necessarily take no for an answer. I'll adjust myself to suit the need of whatever it is that I'm trying to achieve. For example, I wanted to be a deputy sheriff, but I knew I didn't have the foundation for it. So I opted to start in the jail for a whole year, and after I felt like I have a good grasp of things, then I applied for the deputy sheriff position. Yeah.
And you know, one of the things that Sheriff Knudsen mentioned is like, even when you were being naturalized, you wanted to get right back to class.
Yes.
You are dedicated.
Yes.
I mean, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I mean, would you say? I mean, you're pretty driven.
I am very driven. Like I said, I don't take no for an answer. And if it depends on me, it's gonna get done. Now, if it's outside environment, then I cannot control that. But if my success depends on my output, my ability, my work, my what do you call it? My efforts, I will make sure I do what it is that I need to do to get it done.
I mean, so many people would be afraid to take the steps forward, but you're fearless, I think.
Except for snakes.
So
Yes.
the deputy calls it no animal control for you. That's okay. You don't have to do that. I don't think Sheriff's going to make you make those calls. We'll make sure of that. But gosh, I mean, beyond working, I mean, how many hours would you say it takes being a deputy and going to police academy and all of that? I mean, I'm envisioning 60, 70-hour work weeks. Is that what it looks like right now?
True, but it has to come from the heart. I mean, the work is strenuous. I mean, there's nothing easy about law enforcement. You have to absolutely love what you're doing. It has to come from the heart. That way it doesn't feel like work. The education is fantastic for me. I'm just absorbing. I'm like a sponge right now because I know I need everything that I'm being taught to be a good deputy. So it's labor of love, if I should say so.
It really is. Yeah. And you know what also is a labor of love is getting naturalized, which
Absolutely.
is a long process. So rewind the clock back to when you first came here. Did you know immediately you wanted to make this country your country?
Yes, I did. I knew I wanted to. I remember I came in 2003 August, and let me track back. By December, because when the weather was changing and I lived in Nebraska at that time, I was like, oh my goodness, I've never been so cold. And I remember calling my mother and trying to explain the cold. And I told her, it's like living in a fridge. And then she was like, oh, okay. I mean, you get it, but you don't get it. At that point, I was like, I don't know. The cold is too much. It was painful, literally painful. But once I got over that hump, I knew, first because of the opportunities you get here as a female. Unfortunately, back at home, you don't get, you're born to do certain things. So you have, your role is predestined by your gender. So being in a country where everything, your success depends on your willingness to do whatever it takes. That was like Christmas every day for me. And I knew then and there that I wanted to be here, start afresh, and just go at life. Just take all the risks I can definitely take.
Wanda, you are such an inspiration. So I'd be remiss if I didn't ask, so okay, rewind the clock even more. Did you, as a little girl, want to grow up and do law enforcement? When did that was it being in the jail? When did all of that seed kind of kernel and you wanted to?
I grew up with a mother who was a headmistress, which is like a head teacher principal, and a father who was a professor. So my discipline level has always been high. I thank God for that. Can I say that?
Absolutely.
Okay, all right. I thank God for that because so many things that people struggle with, in terms of attitudes, in terms of mannerism, in terms of ethics. I do not have those struggles. And to go back to your question, now that I look back, I feel like every single step, every single thing I've done since I was a child has prepared me for this moment. It is funny, life works that way. Before this, I was a teacher. I have a teaching degree. And it is the same thing. It's crowd control. You sit in a classroom and you convey a message and you hope for it to be understood. Same as policing. Except policing, you have tools,
Other than the chalk and the chalk.
Exactly,
That's true.
exactly.
Absolutely. I never put it like that, but that's a great the naturalization process, because that takes years
Yes.
to do. So you dealt with your first couple Wisconsin winters, it sounds like, and
Yes.
then you're like, okay, I think I want to do this. I mean, this is not a walk in the park either. Talk
No.
to me how much work you put in there.
Now, generally, naturalization can take anywhere from 3 to 5 years, and if you're lucky enough, 1 year if there is no complications. For me, because I wanted to change my name back to my to Wanja instead of, should I even go into that? Sorry, cut.
You don't have to.
Oh, okay.
You can just talk about the process and
Okay,
everything.
let me do that.
People are always surprised by this.
Okay.
I remember the first time that I learned, how many years it takes.
It takes forever, even 10 years sometimes. Okay.
Tell us
All right.
a little bit about how long it took you. Yeah, go
Okay.
for it.
So the naturalization process usually takes around 3 to 5 years, and that's when everything goes according to how it's supposed to be, the whole process. We had the federal shutdown, so that delayed things. So I started working on my naturalization, I want to say a good 5 years ago, but seriously, like taking, because there's so many documents you have to hand in to the federal government, 3 years. And then I waited for 1.5 years for it to come to fruition. After they sent you the letter, hey, you are approved. So I waited for 1.5 years from the ceremony.
One thing I like to ask about this, because it's so interesting, is you're taking your classes, right?
Yes.
What was the most interesting thing? Because you know way more about our country than I think I totally know. Syracuse, I mean, right, guys? I mean, you learned so many nuggets. What was one of those things that you picked up in the lessons that took you hours to learn?
One thing I absolutely realize, and actually I acknowledge, and I see a difference, especially coming from a third world country, is how long America has been independent. America cannot compare itself with, or any other country cannot compare itself with America, because this has been centuries in the making, and we are just catching up. We just got cell phones that are not satellite cell phones, and it gives me, I give myself grace in terms of learning new things, and I'm not so hard on myself when it comes to learning new things, technology and everything. I just pace myself because of that. So I apply it to my own life. But that was very interesting, just realizing it's been centuries. Centuries? Centuries.
That's wonderful.
I thought it was very interesting when I was up at that naturalization ceremony, and you said that what you learned preparing for the citizenship tests have actually helped you
Absolutely.
a great deal with
Yeah.
the law enforcement testing.
Tell us about that. That's interesting.
One of the subjects or courses we are taking here at Law Enforcement Academy is constitutional law. And when the course was being introduced, or when the lecturer was actually going over the things, I was like, I know that, and I know that, and I know that. And the reason why I know it is because this exam that you have to sit for before you become naturalized is extensive. They actually give you 3 to 5 months to study for it. And you're seated, and the other person who's actually asking you questions seated opposite you and can ask you anything, up to 20 questions sometimes. And you have to just be able to pop up the questions. So you have to not only know, not only cram, but understand. You understand the Constitution, you understand how everything works. I am very, very grateful and thankful for that. Again, like I said, sometimes you don't realize every single thing you are becoming or you're working towards prepares you for this grand moment. And for me, I feel that way. Totally. Everything, looking hindsight, everything that I've done, everywhere I've been, every misfortune, every celebration has prepared me for this moment.
You're proud to be a patriot and proud to be with the police. And
Absolutely.
As you know, it's hard to be both here in our country right now.
Yes.
But you feel, as I hate to put words in people's mouth, but you feel like it's your calling, as you mentioned.
It is absolutely my calling. I do not even feel it. I know it. Every single part of my bone marrow. I know it. It is. it is my calling to do what I'm doing right now, and not just the aspect of policing, but the community work, the healing that needs to be done, the bridging of the gap, you know, between policing and the community in general. We need to step up as law enforcement in terms of being in touch with our own communities, and I am more than happy to do that every day.
You are a rock star, police officer, deputy, naturalized rock star. I'm trying to think. Sheriff Knudsen, came out. How inspiring is it too that he cares that much about you to come all the way to Milwaukee and see you have that precious moment?
The minute I saw him, I could not even sit in my seat. And when I got out of the doors, they have these big chamber doors, like the 1800s Victorian chamber doors. And I came out and I just lost it. I completely lost it. And I hugged them, and it's a touching moment. And again, you asked me why Rock County? Why not Rock County? I mean, when you're sheriff, he has things to do. Fishing, perhaps, I don't know, something to do. But he chooses. I'm not the only employee there, you know, and he chooses to come with his wife to that ceremony. I mean, I can't translate that feeling in words. It was unbelievable. I cried all the way home. I'm like, I gotta go to class, and my eyes are red, bloodshot. It was one of the most memorable moments, and I know I'm gonna cherish that.
Wanda, you're one of the most memorable interviews I've ever gotten to hear. Thank you so much.
Community effort, you know what I mean?
Yes.
It's not just me. The people in jail invested in me. The trainers, I mean, training Sergeant Brown here, Sheriff, they all give me this chance to fail if I have to, but they give it to you on a plate, really, and it's for you to work and prove yourself for that. So it's not just, oh my gosh, I'm so great, I did this. It's a whole Rock County Sheriff's community effort, truly.
And the fact that you're in a much better place now because
Absolutely.
with the opportunities you have here in the U.S. to be a woman and to be able
Absolutely.
to succeed, I mean, that just kindles. Yeah. All right, guys, you ready for a little more staging? And then I promise we'll get you back to class at some point. I promise, it's gonna happen. Okay, so this is a hug. I'll make you do a couple of hugs. First hug, just hug, a nice normal hug. Second hug, I'm gonna make you freeze like a mannequin challenge. And I'm gonna come around and I'm circling. So first hug, just have a nice happy hug. Second hug, stay in the middle of the hug.
We need to call his wife first.
I'm sure she'll be okay with it. This is pretty special. Okay. That's okay. That's all right. Go ahead. This is a big bear hug. Go ahead. This is a good one. Yeah. Hold on. Go ahead.
Sheriff. I'm going in.
That's okay. This is a special hug. I mean, you're supposed to get hugged 8 times a day. Did you guys know that? That's what I learned from.
Well, this is going to count for 2, I'm quite certain.
Yeah. Go ahead, and I'm going to get you to totally stage it. So, Wanda, why don't you walk from like 2 steps away, and then we're just going to have that big bear hug. Yeah. And action. Go for it.
Are you actioning right now?
And action. Yes. Oh, guys, that was perfect. Now remember what you just did. So I'm coming in tight for those 2 shots. Come on, hug time. No worries, no shoes in this shot at all. This is pretty special right here. Please hold a moment. Hang on, hang on. Circling, circling, circling. Actually, I'm gonna go down here. I need to taller. I'm only 5'2", so maybe that counts. Great. Oh, thank you guys. That was so cute. That was a fun shot. Yes. That's special. You guys are like, oh my gosh, what did that crazy girl do? That is just too cool. All right, let me see what I want to do. Any luck? Got a thumbs up?
The director says it's okay, but you have to stop by his office and sign a civilian and Marine waiver.
Aye, Captain, you got it.
Do you know
Yeah.
where the office is?
No clue.
Okay.
You might have to
Are
take me
you-
there. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to do my quick. I have to come up with a silly little stand up because that's why they pay for hair and makeup. So,
Yeah, but there's nobody in there right now. She's got to go back and sign the waiver. Can you get her down to the range?
Wanja's naturalization process took her 5 years. 3 of those spent in classes. 3, 2, and 1. Wanja's naturalization process took 5 years. 3 of those spent in hard classes to prepare for her patriotic duty. 3, 2, and 1. Oh, I just had another idea for Sean. Wanja's naturalization process took 5 years. 3 of those spent in classes to prepare for her patriotic moment. I think that'll work. I'm just telling what you told me, so. But it's going to sound good, I promise. Be so kind. Yeah, I'll just say action and then feel free to do the Pledge of Allegiance. I'll make you do this twice.
I know I won't even remember.
Yeah. You guys are all set whenever you like. Go for it.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Wanja, do you mind saying it too? Go ahead. Well, as much as you can remember.
I can't remember the words. I don't want to mess it up.
Okay, that's okay. You're good, you're good.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
America,
and to the republic
to the republic
for which it stands,
for which it stands,
one nation,
one nation,
under God,
under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
everybody.
This is perfect. I like how you're echoing him. One more time, and then you're free. Get a tight shot on your face as you're starting this, and go for it.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of
of
America
the United States of America,
and to the republic
to the republic
for which it
for
stands,
which it stands,
one nation,
one nation,
under God,
under God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
justice for all.
This is beautiful, guys. I'm making a beautiful moment here. Thank you for letting me do this with you. That was just so special. I was awesome.
That second part,
Indivisible.
indivisible.
That's a tough one, yeah. For sure.
No, we practiced and we said it. And
But I'm making you nervous because you've done so much for me that I've made you do mannequin challenges and everything else. So no, I totally get it. Absolutely. That is just too cool that you did that. So
it's a passion for sharing.
so many, yes.